This right here gonna be a cakewalk.
But Britt gotta be careful because if he loses his school, he's gonna lose the whole matchup right here.
Yes, sir. The crowd is into it.
I think we're over. It's over.
The crowd is into it. Great block. Oh, this one is over. Yes,
Queen!
W.
Being a pro player means being disciplined, being diligent, doing your homework, going back and observing your flaws, learning from your mistakes on a daily basis. Every day needs to be a learning experience if you want to be the best. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I thought it would be fitting to start this video off from a tweet from Arslan Ash, because in this video we're going to be focusing on potentially the next Arslan Ash. Before we get super deep into the discussion, please hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 4K by the end of the year. If you watch the channel regularly but you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I have a comment from Foxy, and basically this person gave me the idea to mute the game audio in my videos. So this is something that I will be adapting to my videos going forward. I do appreciate when people give me ideas and suggestions. Now let's get into this video. The competitor that we're going to be talking about is UYU's QueenArrow. The pinned tweet says, "Wow, okay, I got a ton of new followers, so I guess it's time to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Sylvia, but I go by QueenArrow in the gaming Tekken community. I'm a Lars and Zhao Yu main and an inspiring world-class Tekken player. I'm also a content creator on YouTube and Twitch." Now, jumping into why this person is blowing up lately. Going back to the Reuters tweet that I just mentioned, 24-year-old Sylvia becomes the first Kenyan to be signed by top esports companies XIT Wounds and UYU, one of the first esports athletes to make the Forbes under 30 list of global trailblazers. Also, I will be showing her gameplay in the background. You can see the Zhao Yu, that's who she's playing. I didn't see any Lars gameplay. There's not much gameplay of this person on YouTube, but I'm pretty sure in the future that's going to change. But she's from Kenya, and she's the first person from Kenya to be signed. Kind of how, well, I don't want to say Arsenal was the first person to be signed from Pakistan, but he was the first one to start breaking that barrier and putting Pakistan on the map. There's so many different communities within Tekken, and it's like some of them are kind of locked behind a wall, whether it's because of technology or different regions or something like that. So there's always these people who break those barriers, right? Now Anakin responds to this and says, "Wow, mind blown, this is groundbreaking stuff." But this other person, you always have people like this, whether it's in the YouTube comment section, Twitter comment section. Peter says, "Well done, Sylvia. Though I have no clue how this is called a sport." Talking about Tekken. Basically saying, how is Anakin side to Red Bull? That's not a sport. How are you on Forbes? Like basically just discrediting Tekken, and not really just Tekken, but just the whole gaming esports scene. I think there will always be people like this, but I think a lot more people are realizing how much it takes to do this stuff. Not just be a content creator, a live streamer, but a competitive player at the highest level for any game. Any game. You give this person a controller and they won't even know what buttons do what. Yet at the same time, they will criticize it and say, how is this a sport? But I love her response to this person. I don't know if they know each other or whatnot, but QueenArrow says, "I know you're not trying to be rude, but does this answer your question, sir? I've gone out of this country several times to represent and fly our flag high. I am one of the many young individuals in this country and world over doing this." And the picture that is linked with this is, I think this is her 5th place prize. I know there was one tournament where she came in 5th place. I know there was another tournament where I think she won, but basically she was saying, like, whether you believe it's a sport or not, you know, there's money to be made. There's a name, a legacy to leave behind, right? UYU responds with Common Queen W. What I was immediately focused on is, will QueenArrow show up in Evo? Now I looked very hard and I didn't see any tweets or from UIU or from QueenArrow mentioning Evo, but I hope she will be there. But if not, we do have the regional finals or whatever that's in Africa, and she will most definitely be there. And just focusing on just Africa overall, we know there's top competition in that region. The Tekken World Tour is going to give us insight to how the competitive scene may change in the future, right? Pakistan showed up and now they're a force to be reckoned with. Will Africa do the same? I have a news article here from All Africa. Africa gamer QueenArrow strives to put Africa women on a global esports map. I'm going to read this whole article, but in post editing, I will cut out things that maybe is repetitive or things that maybe lead us nowhere. I will try to make this as straightforward as possible. One notable ambassador in the shift of perceptions of the continent is QueenArrow, a professional fighting game player from Kenya. I had the opportunity to ask her several questions regarding esports as a whole, the continent relations, and what she hopes for the future. Who is QueenArrow? Skipping down to a quote, it says, in 2017, I decided to join a Mortal Kombat tournament being held by the East African Gaming Convention in Nigeria, and I came in fourth. From then on, the competitive bug bit, and then I decided to pursue an esports career. So started off with Mortal Kombat, but then transitioned to Tekken. I kind of can relate to that because Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter was a big part of my childhood, but sort of in my teens and young adult life, I switched over to Tekken. A quote says, "The balance between my professional life and esports career isn't easy, as it demands that I learn what is a priority to me at the time. If my attention is required in school, I first focus on that, and when I have accomplished what I need to there, I focus back on esports." Now, the reason why she's talking about school and Tekken is because this is a law student. This isn't some gamer nerd in the mom's basement. No, this is someone who's practicing law. I think at CEO, there was someone who was a lawyer and they was like, oh yeah, I'll show up to the tournament. You had a lawyer competing in a Tekken tournament. That stigma of how is this a sport, gaming is from nerds, that is being chipped away faster than people realize. And it's like at this point, the majority is fully aware of why it's a sport, and the people who don't, that group is becoming smaller and smaller and smaller by the day. In 2018, her eventual addition to the American Esports Organization, UIU, in 2021 as a content creator. So she been signed to UIU for at least a year, but that Reuters news article or that video, it really put her on the map.
I feel that why I insist on being recognized as an esports athlete, not a female esports athlete, is for the aforementioned reason. I bring my mental, strengths to the table, not my physical strengths, and that's why it shouldn't really be segregated according to gender.
A quote here from QueenArrow says, "It shows that Forbes recognized the impact that esports scene is making. Being named as a part of an elite class of Forbes 30 under 30 was a huge affirmation for me, my esports career, and the African esports scene as a whole. That journey was not a particular easy one, as it was the months of preparation. Getting all the articles, features, video interviews, police clearance, and trying to tell my story and journey in a manner that was authentic and in a way that would stand out. I'm happy to say that I did it." This really sounds like Arslan Ash. Like when he first was trying to travel, you had TSA Nobi stopping him. You had people saying, wait, what? You're here to do what? Play Tekken in Vegas? No, you're not. You know what I mean? You had so many barriers just because of the region of the world they're from. And it's cool to see that they're kind of breaking those barriers down. It's not easy. That in and of itself is a challenge. Like Eris was making a joke. He was saying for Arslan Ash, it's harder for him to get to the tournament than to compete in the tournament, right? That's how groundbreaking some of this stuff is. It's harder to get to the tournament than it is to win the tournament. I'll read one more paragraph. This is from Representing Women in Africa. What I hope for the African region is that we get the same access to opportunities we need to thrive, i.e. access to consistent and regular tournaments, equitable internet infrastructure, and also more international tournaments having regional stops here. Moreover, more local servers here would be a plus. And the Tekken World Tour is kind of addressing this. They have their own region. I know before the pandemic came along, there was a lot more. I believe there was a West, South, and North Africa events. There was 3. But after the pandemic, for whatever reason, it's just one Africa region tournament. So maybe in the years to come, we will see more tournaments out there, especially if they win. If one of them, QueenArrow, or I know there was a label main, but if one of them travel to Evo or travel across the world and they beat like Knee or Arslan or something like that, it's definitely going to change the scene, right? But I just wanted to talk about this because I think it's going to be very interesting to see how it goes forward. It's just so cool. You have so many people breaking out, breaking ahead all across the world. Pakistan, QueenArrow, Africa, Kaiser, all over the world. You have top players, Joka, doing things that no one in their region, their hometown, their country, whatever, did before. I just want to talk about this topic, this person, because I think it's interesting to see how it unfolds. The ramifications of this is huge. But that's going to be it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this little breakdown, this little discussion about QueenArrow and the barriers she's breaking down for Africa. But that's going to be it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time, and bye-bye.